Still looking pretty decent with their own draft. A lot of team fight potential, a lot of early push. These heroes can be rather hard to deal with as well on the side of the Dire.
Pick.
They'll go into the Spectre, and we continue to see this. Every time we've seen a Bristleback, it seems to be that the Spectre will come out for the opposing team, which is fair enough. The only thing is, the Spec is going to have a very, very hard lane. You're going to be forced to spam Spectral Dagger just to find those CS. If Geek Fam play the Bristle properly, you're not really going to have the chance to even stay in XP range.
5 seconds remaining.
And then you've got a Blinding Light as well from the Coddle, assuming he goes with the Bristleback, which he should for that added mana. I'm not sure how to feel about that Spectre pick. It does combo nicely with the AA just because you have that global presence with the Ice Blast, but we haven't seen that to great effect as of the last couple days. Geek Fam, they'll go into a Centaur War Runner now, so that kind of indicates a position 1 Bristleback rather than the off lane, which does mean that the Spectre should have a little bit of a better time unless they still force the Bristle to lane against the Spec. Only time will tell, we'll have to find out once we get into the game. The Centaur obviously going to offer a lot of control. Stampede is going to certainly help Bristle close the distance and not allow him to be kited around against that Leshrac.
5 seconds remaining.
And overall, I can easily say that Geek Fam's lineup is looking pretty darn good. Arguably better than what Reality Rift have right now, just purely due to the fact that I don't think the Spectre's going to get any farm. Assuming they lane it the way I'm thinking they're going to lane it. In case you're wondering, by the way, I believe John is reconnecting.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, John.
Hey.
What happened, sir?
Oh, it's that lovely internet connection in this country. Absolutely fantastic piece of hardware there. Just decides to drop midway. I swear to goodness, I'd be so happy to hear from them sometime, but this issue has been there for the past week. It just gives me such a lovely time, It makes me so happy, fills me with joy. If I die of a stroke in the next year, it's going to be because of this company.
Right,
they are going to give me a stroke at some point.
Well, let's calm down, John.
Save me the trouble.
Last pickups coming up, Geek Fam. They'll go for the Storm Spirit. I suppose that's why we saw the earlier Jug Ban coming out. They just didn't want that spin against the Storm. It does look like it's going to be basically a free Storm game as of right now. Not really any direct counters towards that Storm. John, I was talking about how Geek Fam do look very, very strong with their draft, and I'm afraid for RR that they might not get any farm on this spec. How are you feeling about these drafts so far?
I definitely like Geek Fam's draft a bit more. You have a lot of ways of dealing with that Spectre here. The Storm Spirit's not going to be locked in too hard. Of course, you have nothing instantaneous until someone builds up a Hex. We have seen the Leshrac as well, right? We've seen it a couple of games now. The effectivity of that hero is put to question when you're facing a lineup that just goes online quite fast. In this case, once more, you have that Bristleback, you have that Coddle, it's going to be non-stop aggression earlier on. The Templar Assassin from Reality Rift should make it easier to lane against that Storm. That matchup definitely does go the way of the TA early on, especially since Storm has no way of eating through those refractions. She can just tank through all the damage, pump out her own damage, really punish that Storm if they go in for those last hits. So I like that last pick from RR. It doesn't stop the issue of Ryoya being able to just go in and out at will. Not really going to be punished for that. And it's going to be interesting to watch this unfold. We do have Raven on the Bristle, so he's going to be playing that safe lane Bristle, being babysat by his Keeper of the Light, spamming out all the spells in the world, making it hell. I wouldn't be surprised if they always throw the Bristle back to the Spectre lane. I think that's really what you want to be doing here. Just slow down the Spec, force her to farm somewhere else, force their movements away, and just keep Reality Rift on the back foot here, making sure they respond to you, force them to take these early fights, force them to really protect Luke as much as possible, and try to find as much space on the map. We also have the pleasure of Sefer Rubik, which I'm sure you've mentioned before,
I have.
and that is going to be something to watch. So many good spells to steal. from the Lush, from the Sand King, from the AA. He is going to be really effective in this match. I don't doubt that at all. Based on how he's played before, this is going to be a good game for him.
I imagine, and I was talking about this. Do you think Geek Fam just runs the it's a position 1 Bristle. Do you think they just run it against the Spectre in lane? Because it feels like as long as Dubu's there with him to just keep refilling the mana, there's no way Luck gets any farm on this Spectre.
Exactly. That's exactly what Geek Fam would want to do. And they should be trying to push that. Just shut down that spec. Cuckoo on the center could do the same thing. It's not going to be as amazing, of course. I don't think you'd mind Cuckoo going up against KYXY Sand King. Sure, he might not farm too well, but you don't care about that. You're shutting down that Spectre, which is their only way into that mid to late game. And if they don't get that space on that hero, it has a hard time farming up. You might not get as much space. You have highly mobile heroes on the side of on the side of Geek Fam to punish that. They have that Storm that can just hunt you down every single time. And so it's something to worry about now for RR.
KYXY.
Well played.
Indeed. Get the unpause going. We'll see how the lanes go. Luck, of course, going to head up to the top. Alacrity naturally going to go through mid. And it looks like Hustler will take the off lane. At least for now. So the pos for Lesh is going to be a thing. KYXY going to be on the off lane sanking. And Raven, for now, is going down to that bot lane. So it looks like they aren't necessarily going to try and, force Luck to have no farm, but rather just secure Raven's farm. And that does also work out quite positively, because if you get crazy amounts of farm within the first 15 minutes, you could just make the Spectre's life a living hell anyway. He may be forced up against a tri-lane though. Raven does cop a split earth. KYXY hasn't leveled up the Burrow Strike yet, but will end up grabbing it. But the Blinding Light does come out. That will make sure they can't actually go for that secondary stun from KYXY.
That is interesting, though. I feel like you get a lot of value from Reality Rift for that movement, simply because you force the Blinding Light level 1. So you're not going to have that amazing mana sustain, amazing spam off the bat for the lane of Raven. Makes it much more manageable. You're going to have to wait for that level 2 to be coming out for this dual lane from Geek Fam to really become its own.
Well, they will secure both banner runes. Geek Fam, they'll get both top banner runes, so very equal start in terms of bounties. RR are not backing off Raven, though. They are going to harass him every step of the way. And Raven, just going to have to TP his way to that bot tier 1. Does mean he won't have the option to lane switch up until another minute and a half or so. So I like this little play, ensuring that this Spectre is going to be safe. So where's the support for this spec? They'll send Nuts up there as the AA. Looks like he's going to be laning up against Cuckoo, which is a much more manageable lane for Luck as well.
It certainly is, but the Centaur is still a threat to these melee sort of cores.
Well, it's certainly not going to be easy just due to that Retaliate. But I would argue Raven would have caused much more of an issue on this Bristle. So we'll see how KYXY deals with it. Because we did see this kind of playstyle before where you go for the Sandstorm, you try to just finalize hits within that Sandstorm. Problem is, the Bristle can just stand there and tank through it and just spam Quill Sprays and force you out, essentially rendering that Sandstorm useless.
Definitely does. Bristleback is one of those heroes that really punishes that passive Sandstorm gameplay. You also have to note that there can be investments in those sentry wards as well. In fact, Dubu has 2 on standby ready to go. So it is going to be down to who finds that sentry first.
Raven copying a fair bit of damage already. Split Earth will come out after the Burrow Strike. Of course, he does now have a level on Bristleback, so things are going to get a bit harder in terms of harassing him out of the lane. We'll look over to the mid lane where Ryoya is up against Alacrity on the TA. Ryoya being forced to salve up quite early on, but he did bring plenty of regen for this TA matchup. And of course, the TA up against Storm, up until Ryoya hits level 6, is going to be pretty hellish for the Storm Spirit. But he's already prepared for that anyway. Looks like Cuckoo having a pretty darn good time already on the Centaur. 8 last hits, 4 denies. Luck is trying to get the same. Just dragging those creeps towards his own tier 1 tower, though Nuts going to be in trouble. Nice hoof stomp with the lift. Verify pop by Nuts, but it will not matter. Zephyr will go ahead and pick up the first kill as the Rubik. And that's one thing you've got to watch out if you are Nuts. You're not a really tanky support, so as soon as you get lifted, you are basically dead if Cuckoo's there with the hoof stomp. Back over to that mid lane, Ryoya. Doing very well in terms of last hits considering the matchup. 18 and 3 in comparison to the 14 and 3 of Alacrity. Naturally, Alacrity can always catch up in the jungle. It's quite impressive Ryoya is able to provide this kind of CS considering the refraction charges of Alacrity on the TA. Raven, bot lane, has been struggling a bit. Hustler really applying that harassment towards this Bristleback, not allowing him to feel comfortable. And Raven, basically out of regen, really only has one shared tango left. Needs to bring that bottle out soon. Probably will do so now as the courier is available for him. The Hustler has done a pretty great job on this left rack of just never making him feel like he could just abuse that Quill Spray spam against KYXY on the Sand King. That has allowed KYXY to get a lot of farm up that he really shouldn't have. Dubu hasn't really had the ability to just spam Chakra Magic. I fear KYXY at the very least on Reality Rift just going to get way too much now. Hustler just finds a double damage and just continues to force Raven out.
What did I miss, Mike?
Not too much, just a bit of a farming game. Although, now I missed something. Hustler will actually find Dubu down at the bot lane. I was commenting on how well Hustler's doing in ensuring that Raven doesn't feel comfortable at any stage to try and harass KYXY out of the lane.
Yeah, that's pretty big. You slow down the progression of this Bristleback. I think his early game is much more important than the specs because you don't want to spend too much time farming up. You want to use your early game to your advantage. Just really force yourself down the lane, force a response, and just find all the kills in the world. So if you slow down that timing from Raven, you definitely take away some of that effectiveness of the hero. Granted, you still kind of want to have a good time with your spec, and Luck up top is having a decent enough time. Not the freest farm in the world, definitely nothing in comparison to Cuckoo, but he's still somewhat in the game here.
Yep, certainly just finding as much as he can considering the circumstances. Ryoya kind of surprised me as well. I mean, he's doing very, very well on the Storm Spirit. Really keeping up with the TA. You would have assumed the refraction charges would have made all the difference for Alacrity, but it just doesn't feel that way. Ryoya, he just hasn't suffered that much. And it may be due to that preparation, he brought so much regen to the lane. And now he will start stacking himself up some creeps as Hustler. Gonna go in with the Diabolic Edict, trying to go onto Dubu. Will secure the Invis rune and is gonna continue the chase. But they are gonna rotate in Raven. They're all shrine up. And everyone will just return back to the lane.
That was a pretty close move. Unfortunately, not able to commit too hard. But that still gives him a bit more. They do free up the bot lane as well. You see, KYXY does have his level 5. He is working himself quite nicely in terms of progression here.
Early Veil and Blink can make all the differences. He does go straight in for the Burrow Strike. Split Earth is there with the Diabolic Edict and Raven. It just doesn't look like a Bristleback game. He melts so darn quick. And that's without the Veil up yet.
His magic resist isn't that great. And even with Bristleback, it's still level 1. The damage reduction isn't as big. The power spike these magic users do get is quite huge. So you have to really be careful about that. Here it has Raven.
Top lane, they are diving the T1. KYXY though will TP in. Zephyr could be in trouble. Does get the lift off on KYXY. Nuts in a lot of trouble. Cuckoo will take him out on the AA. KYXY is still chasing for the burrow. Does end up getting it off with the Sandstorm, trying to block Zephyr from leaving. But it will not be enough. Zephyr will walk out. Cuckoo will claim the tier 1 top tower. Luck, I mean, he's making a little bit of a chase. I don't really see a kill occurring, though. Nuts will come back in. But Cuckoo just too tanky. Has the phase boots up. Looks like he's going straight into a Vanguard build. He'll be able to just walk away and farm up these creeps.
It has been a pretty good game for Cuckoo so far. Number 2 in terms of last hits. And that is a massive stack for him to take. If he can stack it up one more time, unfortunately, no. There was a creep that did lag behind. It does get a bit tough at this point in the game with that many heroes. With that many creeps. But again, you are seeing good progression so far from Geek Fam on both their off lane and safe lane. Raven, despite the struggle he had in that lane, he does have 53 last hits to his name. Doing quite good for themselves overall in terms of net worth.
Oh, well, he does get stunned up top lane with the Sandstorm, but he just hoof stomps and walks out of there. Just seems way too tanky to try and go after. And it kind of surprises me as well that KYXY, he's just stuck around at this top lane even though he had a great off lane that was just working out for him. It seems like they're more focused on shutting down Cuckoo than anything. They'll go for the Burrow Strike Cold Feet, and this time they will find the kill. But wouldn't you have found more just allowing the Sand King to stay in the off?
Definitely feels that way. This does not help KYXY's item progression himself. He wants as good of a start as you're seeing on that Centaur and Bristleback. We have seen the effects of those early blinks, the early pipes, the early vanguards, and the early veils as well. Just pumps up your magic damage and pumps up your durability so much. Gives you a lot more to work with in these team fights. Hustler, he's going for that sneaky tier 1 Diabolic Edict play. Going to be melting it. Wonder if Ryoya is going to notice.
Not quite yet, apparently. As that is getting pretty darn low, Ryoya. Maybe he does and he just doesn't think he can make a play towards it. And he'll leave it be. Walks back to the tower being like, where the hell will this HP go? Top lane, Stampede being committed just to be able to get away. And yeah, he's going to do it again.
It's gone. Nice push.
Certainly was. Alacrity going to try and find Raven now at the bot lane for the banner and we'll be able to pick it up. Dude will, of course, take the other. It's strange though. Like, do you think Ryoya could have done anything about that?
No. If he walked up, he'd be copying all that Diabolic Edict himself. So he would melt. I don't think you'd want that as a Storm Spirit. He did still find considerable farm. He is starting to trail behind that TA. And that is because Alacrity has been farming up, of course. And the TAs can really accelerate quite fast. So that's something to be worried about if you're Geek Fam. The damage coming out here with all the minus armor and all that physical is going to be really strong.
KYXY, they're going on to Raven. Cold Feet, will it freeze him? Yeah, it will. Still in the Sandstorm as well, and Raven so darn low. KYXY will pick up the kill. This is not the Bristleback start they imagined they'd be having, I'm sure. RR really abusing their powers right now as Ryoya gonna zip up top, and we'll find luck on the Spectre. So essentially a direct trade between the two teams. And both position 1s just suffering in this game.
Yeah, it's been a rough time for both. I think this does hurt Raven just a bit more. The Spectre you don't really expect to do too much in this early game. So he is just going to be farming up the entire game anyway, although down mid.
Yeah, Alacrity, Will-O-Wisp comes out, lift as well. They're just holding him in place. Ice Blast is there. Zephyr will cop it. And one little funny thing you didn't really spot out, Zephyr took the Diabolic Edict and did the exact same thing to the Dire Tier 1 tower that the Leshrac did. So he actually got it down pretty much all the way just before the deny range. Now we'll walk away with the TA traps. So nice little scouting traps he can place down. Already trying to make the plays for the team. We do finally have the BB versus the Spectre lane, so both end up showing up at the bot. Luck, I'm not sure if he's actually gonna be able to farm like this. It's just...
Oh, he definitely won't. It's copying a bit too much damage. You can't sustain that lane. I mean, it's just the kit on both heroes. Takes a while for Spectre to really scale up. And Bristleback, he's just a menace at this point. Even if he just has a Hood of Defiance, you're not going to be trading favorably as a Spectre up against a Bristleback all alone.
Alright. Not looking to allow this tier 1 bot tower to just go down. I'm going to try and stop Raven in his tracks, but... Raven, he's got that Hood of Defiance up now. He's feeling a lot more confident, especially up against that Lesh and that Sand King. Going to move in and start whacking away again at that tier 1, though. You can see the rotations coming in now. Well, Cuckoo does have a blink up. He'll TP back down to the bot lane as well, and they all want to go for a team fight apparently. Zara. Gotta be very careful. Stampede blink is nothing to scoff at. Cuckoo already trying to get in position. Hustler, Split Earth does not connect. The trap actually saves the day for Cuckoo. Instead, Stampede popped. Storm zips in and they found Alacrity. Dust is there. Will-O-Wisp as well. Where's the help for Alacrity? It's not going to be there in time. They will also end up finding the tier 1 tower thanks to that Diabolic Edict on the Rubik once again. Alright, went from a great start to... It's starting to fall apart a little bit. They lose 2 tier 1 towers and that bot one does not look very healthy whatsoever.
It's been really good movements coming out from Geek Fam so far. Again, Zephyr, with his steals, has really worked out this Rubik quite well. Even if it's just something simple like the Diabolic Edict on the tier 1s, they are taking a lot of momentum and a lot of space away from Reality Rift. Space that their Spectre desperately needs, and speaking of luck, caught out again.
Yeah, no Hoofstomper even being committed from Cuckoo, he just doesn't care. Ryoya will pick another kill up on that Storm, that'll be 2 for him. Things are looking from bad to worse here for RR. They're just not getting the farm they require. Of course, he will be going straight to the Manchester on that Spectre, but it's just... He's only got 1 Blade of Alacrity right now. It's 15 minutes in. Not really that close to a Yasha, or at the very least, he does need another 1k. Meanwhile, Raven does have the Medallion of Courage up. You look at Zephyr, he just picked up a blink on the Rubik, and Hustler may end up paying.
Here we go again.
Yeah, he does it. Zephyr actually TP's out of there.
I like this cheeky play. If it works, it works. It gives you the towers, it gives you the gold. You know, why not?
KYXY set up at the top lane. Ice Blast was on point. Alacrity. Mid lane, Storm found luck again. Does he keep diving for it? He does not. There are way too many heroes around him, and Alacrity slows him down. He zips out, but now Hustler can go for the Split Earth, but misses that as well. They'll commit the Stampede and try to turn it around. Cuckoo jumps straight on Hustler, takes him out. Alacrity's been stunned up by Zephyr. There's no follow-up to that. They'll just leave it be. But a nice turnaround for the side of Geek Fam. That'll make it a 6-3 now. 4k net worth lead for them. And things are just going swimmingly.
Definitely are. The one thing for Reality Rift that is working out is Alacrity has had that free farm. He is top of net worth right now on the TA. Working towards that Blink Dagger. Once that's up, they do have ways of forcing these fights out. Shouldn't be as easy to burst this fight down.
Epicenter from KYXY doesn't have a blink. Couldn't get in range for the burrow either.
You know what? Isn't this like the second time we've seen that from KYXY before? Like we've seen it in a different series? I want to say this has happened before with his Sand King.
Well, he does try to go for the Epicenter burrow without the blink. He's done it a couple times, and I mean sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. It kind of goes back to the build he went for. He went Vanguard into Boots Travel, which is a bit unorthodox. Meanwhile, Ryoya finds luck again on the Spectre. That's going to be 3 deaths on luck.
Dire's structures are fortified.
But back to the Sand King. I mean, this build, sure, it's fine for helping out the team constantly when there's a lot of aggression on the other side of the river. But without that blink, you don't have the initiation. But he does Burrow Strike in. Ice Blast is there as well, though the Will-O-Wisp is going to just be massive. Raven's still going to be okay. Just runs his way out. They end up finding him in the end. Zephyr, though, finds a double kill. Somehow, how does he actually find a double kill?
I guess he just built off the back of his bristle back, and all the pult sprays there. There were a couple of people low,
Bottom tower
so he just goes in, zaps with a Fade Bolt, and perhaps another Splitter as well, maybe at some point. Either way, Zephyr is just finding way too much in this Rubik. Like, you do not let this guy play Rubik, no matter what the game, no matter what heroes you have. You just don't give it to this guy. He's way too good in the hero. Same thing with his Grimstroke. And it's just fantastic to watch, but it's very hard to play against.
We're looking over to the TA now. Lacrity does have the Desolator up. So things are starting to come up online for Reality Rift. Zephyr. Aether Lens up as well as the Blink.
attack.
Going to the 4-staff next. He does this every game. Just wants that added mobility. Hustler, meanwhile, top lane. Doing the same thing with the T1s. We'll grab another one.
Has fallen.
That's
This left-
3 for him, isn't it?
He's doing a lot of work this position for Leshrac. Really, I mean, he really is. He's found 3 towers just by himself. While all that was happening, you do see a blink come out on Lacrity. He just got that on the courier. That's going to really help him trying to jump in, set the pace for these team fights. As most team fights really haven't gone their way so far. See if he can jump in on Raven and get that minus armor up.
That would be massive. It also allows him to retreat quite well. Again, he has those refraction stacks to play with. So he has a lot of windows to just get in and out. Although it's smoke on smoke.
Yeah, Stampede, Hustler, gonna go down top lane, so Raven will go ahead and take that out.
Are scanning.
Ryoya, way too deep, gets caught out. Ends up getting taken down preemptively before the team fight ever really started, and Cuckoo now gonna be chased down by Luck. They have the damage, Burrow Strike will be there, Will-O-Wisp once again, Hoof Stop, not there, but the Burrow from Zephyr onto 3 heroes, and now the Illuminate flying through, Raven just jumps in, it's a lot of damage, but the Haunt will come out, Alacrity, they jump on Zephyr, they get rid of the Rubik, and Nuts, he should go down and does, Raven will pick that up, KYXY ends up getting Dubu with the Epicenter. Bit of a rough team fight there for Geek fam. Reality Rift only losing 1 for the price of 3.
Yeah, it's a major win for Reality. They do manage to get a lot more there. They saved Luck somehow at the end. He did have to expend Haunt to escape. Still, not going to be unhappy about that. It is rough for Geek fam. When they lose Ryoya early on, just rough to take these follow-up fights, although they find KYXY.
Yeah, easy kill as they did have the dust. Tries to go for the Burrow Strike, not going to be successful in doing so. It's going to be another kill for Ryoya on the Storm. Now sitting at 4-1 with 1 assist. Looking back over... Sorry?
He's about 100 gold from his Bloodstone as well. So once that's up, and 10 gold away actually. So he's going to have a lot more regen and a lot more HP to play around with. Going to be much deadlier across the map. There you go.
The Roshan is going to be the play as well from Geek fam. They've got so much minus armor for this Roshan. Just with that medallion. As well as, of course, the Nasal Goo from Raven. Ice Blast will be perfectly on point. Pipe will be popped, though. Nara. Do they fight this? Roshan's low. Cuckoo's even lower. He'll run out preemptively. Roshan's still dropping, but it's getting a lot harder as Raven's the only one hitting it, and Hustler just jumps in. Stampede is there, they lift up the Leshrac, but they don't really want to jump yet, though Ryoya, he will get the job done. 600 HP on the Roche. Although he's kind of running out of the pit. Raven will have to patiently wait till he comes back. And Alacrity looks like he's ready to jump in for a steal attempt. Cuckoo seems to predict this and does spot him out. Blinding lights there from Dubu. Will-O-Wisp as well, but the Roshan's still up. KYXY, he jumps in too early, but they snatch the Aegis. Now the Burrow Strike coming up from KYXY. Zephyr tries to turn it around. It won't be enough. Alacrity falling low, but he has a secondary life to use. So they'll get one. Luck is here. Another beautiful Burrow Strike. KYXY, another double. And Raven, the chase begins. In fact, they let it go. But they got the Aegis still, they slow the momentum down. Though Hustler trying to go after Dubu may pay for it. Ryoya thinks better of it and does back out. But a fantastic Aegis still from Alacrity on the TA. Had Geek Fam got on that Aegis, it could have been very, very, very detrimental for them.
Definitely would have been really good time to force that aggression out. I was surprised by Geek Fam, like their positioning was not ideal. Cuckoo was way far forward. He couldn't really contribute too much there. He was copying a couple of right clicks from Alacrity beforehand. That just allowed him an easy entrance in. They had to pop the Will-O-Wisp really early as well. And they didn't manage to maximize that spell, so this is RR's turn to be aggressive. They do smoke up. They're going to try to find a lot more off this map.
Nice smoke coming out straight through the mid lane. Ryoya, he'd be a fantastic target for RR to find, and they might just find him. So, smoke broken. Who are they gone for? They went for Dubu instead, so they didn't quite spot out the Storm Spirit. Still, a nice little pick. We'll be okay with that. Do they find any towers out of it? Probably not. They may find Cuckoo, though. Burrow Strike will connect. Cuckoo now getting jumped on. Ice Blast is not going to land. Ryoya will stop Hustler from chasing on the Leshrac. They will be able to get their Centaur out of there.
We're getting to the point where Alacrity is just a bit too much to deal with now, and that's considering the fact he doesn't even have a BKB up yet. He's just been able to do all this damage. You have KYXY, you know, with that blink, since his pickup has been doing so much work for his team now, that these guys can buy so much space for Luck, who is still working towards a defusal. He's still pretty far behind in terms of gold. He's slowly building up, though, and once the Spectre does build up, you have a timing issue coming out from Geek Fam. Bristleback has a timer. A really big timer, of course. We have seen that in play countless times before. We'll see whether or not Geek Fam can get a bit more going while they're still strong.
Move stomp. They found KYXY on the Sand Alacrity, though, is there, but the Will-O-Wisp comes in. They jump into the back lines, going after Zephyr. Get rid of that Rubik. Cuckoo goes down. Ryoya jumps in. He'll take down Hustler. But Luck, he's going to chase down Dubu on the Coddle and will find the kill. Now KYXY again with a double Burrow Strike. Ryoya, he zips out. He's out of mana. Zephyr falling pretty low. Alacrity misses uphill though. And Geek Fam will shrine up and perhaps turn this one back around as Alacrity, he just uses BKB straight on the AA is where the Storm Spirit goes. Now the Hoof Stomp, they'll hold Luck in place. Nuts is falling low. He'll go down. KYXY still in the Sandstorm waiting for his opportunity, and Ryoya ticking out. Stampede comes out though. He actually runs, but no, the Burrow Strike is there. Zephyr stole the Burrow. Will turn it around on KYXY, but now he's in trouble. Raven still trying to get some damage up, but they're just ignoring him the whole time. Alacrity biting back, going after Cuckoo once again. Hoof Stomp is there to hold him in place, and now Alacrity doesn't have Refraction. Luck's the only one left. Needs to get the hell out of there. Hustler will come in and try to help out, but the Blinding Light knocks him back, and Raven wants to keep moving forward. Cuckoo with the Hoof Stomp. They find another. Hustler, he wants to be out of here as well now. He tries to find Raven as a trade, but he just turns his back, finds a triple kill, and that's a full team wipe for Geek Fam. And what a team fight is at that. Is it looked bad at the start, but a couple buybacks and a shrine, and suddenly they do win out.
Man, that was massively worthwhile. Like, you got so much more on Raven. He's now top of net worth, and he solidifies his power spike. This is still while he's strong. I said Raven needed to find more while he was strong. That is the more I was looking for. He should be able to at least apply some pressure in this tier 2 down mid. Whether or not they'll clear it out is a different question, as the respawns are fairly short. Still go nuts. Oh,
yeah, nuts.
Ouch.
Yeah. He was just trying to defend that tier 2 tower. He won't be so lucky. Raven and Dubu will catch him out.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They really want that tier 2 mid tower. They just don't quite have the creeps around. Raven will back off anyway. Finish off that Sergeant Yasha.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Luck of the Spectre starting to build up.
Dire's middle
Got the
tower
diffusal
is
blade
under
up.
attack.
Some added damage, some added
Radiant's
control.
bottom tower is under attack.
We have seen this a lot of times from Luck. Most of the time it has not panned out for him. See how it goes this time. He tends not to really go for that tanky style build and rely on dispersion. He does rely on his own right clicks to get the work done in these team fights. Alacrity gonna be going straight into a Daedalus next by the looks of it. I was under the assumption he may just go for a Bloodthorn up against the Storm. Looks like he just wants that right click damage just on himself. Perhaps get a Bloodthorn later on. By that point though, Ryoyo will probably have the BKB up. The top lane, Cuckoo. Got Burrow Strike, Ice Path, or Ice Blast is not connected. Now Stampede, back their way. Zip in from Ryoyo, straight on the Leshrac. Take down Hustler immediately, and Hustler actually gets away with his life intact. Now Burrow Strike from KYXY, though the Will-O-Wisp will hold 3 in place. Can they get the damage out though? Raven really doesn't have that much. Luck gonna turn around. Cuckoo falling low. Split Earth is nice. Raven just being controlled throughout all this, and now a triple for Alacrity. They're gonna find the 4th one as well. It won't be an Ultra, but Luck will pick up the Bristleback. And Ryoyo was the only one that was able to get out. And that was just a very strange engagement. They didn't even finish off Hustler.
It was just so weird coming out from Geek Fam once again. This is how they lose team fights, when they take these wonky initiations, they don't manage to burst someone down, and they give opportunities for Reality Rift to turn back around. That was a massive swing towards Luck. Now he's going to be a major threat. He got 700 cold from that Raven kill, and you lose so much more from dropping every single hero except for Aelia's Storm, who does feel like he's tapering off. He needs to finish up this BKB to take these fights much more confidently, and he is inching closer towards that item. So once that's up, you should expect the Storm to be able to do what he did before. I don't think any early BKBs are going to be up, although we do have the BKB up on, I believe, Alacrity. Yeah, he has had that up for a while, but you can still take out Luck. He's nowhere near farming up a BKB.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Straight down to the bot lane. They will grab the tier 2 tower for themselves. Alacrity changed his mind, doesn't want the Daedalus, but rather he wants to go for the Butterfly. We'll have it up very soon as well. He just needs the Talisman of Evasion. Yo-Yo is pushing out the top lane for himself. Grabs the BKB. So now he can confidently fight in these engagements without getting disabled too much. Raven grabs the same. And that has been one of the big problems in these team fights, is it's seemingly just controlling up this Bristleback the whole time. Especially KYXY, he's always on top of Raven, just making sure he doesn't move. With these BKBs, everything could be different for Geek Fam. It still does not stop the amount of right-click damage coming out from Alacrity, though. He is hitting like an absolute truck.
It definitely is. You don't see anything mitigating that, well, beyond the Crimson Guard. Maybe we might see something like a Heaven's Halberd at some point. I think there's a lot of value in that item just to stop Alacrity from melting people down. but I'm not sure if anyone's really going to be gearing up for that.
Well, they found luck. Lift is there. Where's the TPs? They are coming in. Stampede as well, just to ensure they get out. Willow is caught. Luck, can he get out? He does zip towards the shrine. There's no shrine to use, though. He goes the other way. He dodges. Ryoya, he will find him with Zephyr. Now they go after Hustler. Get rid of that Leshrac, and that's exactly what they do. And it looked like it was going to be an amazing dodge coming out from Luck. Unfortunately for him, he just didn't have a shrine to go back to because it wasn't active. They were just completely surrounded.
Yeah, that's a nice kill. Nice set of kills going the way of Geek Fam. That's the exact cure they needed to shut down. He did still farm enough to buy out his Reaver, so doesn't lose as much gold as he'd want. Already has that one chunky item working towards that heart.
Cuckoo. Move stomp. Alacrity just bursting him down. Ice Blast connects. Oh no, in fact he did not. He barely dodged it. And he will survive just due to the fact that that Ice Blast was just a centimeter short. So a 22-17, slight net worth lead for RR by 1k. Dota Plus doesn't know what it's doing, John. 44% for Radiant, 56% for the Dire. It's just been up and down.
It does make sense, though. Reality Rift does have the lineup that scales better into that late game. You have Alacrity with the right clicks. You have the Spectre as well. Look, he's working towards that heart. His timing should be pretty alright. Has played catch-up quite nicely. You know, he's maintained himself within 1k of Ryoya now. A pretty good spot to be in considering how rough a start he had. And he has been contributing quite nicely.
Be careful up at that top lane. He's gonna illuminate down that creep wave. Alacrity is around the area though. Well, it's a lot of damage, and he just dies. Just dies to the trap damage. Ubu actually buys back. For what?
Roshan maybe? That's
Perhaps?
the only thing that really comes out, but Cuckoo seems to have something else in mind.
Thank you for that, Cuckoo. It looks like it's the 35-minute bannerings they're gonna fight over. Well, Ryoya will zip in straight on to the Leshrac again. They want to get rid of Hustler immediately, though. He uses up. He's buying time for his team to try and help out. They still haven't found him either. Alacrity, does he initiate? Raven is there, but there's the Cuckoo Hoof Stomp. They'll get Hustler. Raven not done, but maybe he is after putting Alacrity's damage. And well, Burrow Strike, KYXY does not get the most amazing stun off. Cuckoo trying to make a run for it. He's been slowed down quite heavily. Will-O-Wisp is there. Now Ryoya jumps back in. Are they going to turn this? The Vortex is there on Hustler once again. The Leshrac. Ice Blast connects though on Ryoya. He's going to get out of there. But that Will-O-Wisp is just holding everyone back.
That's a dieback on Dubu. He's not going to be around to contest this Roche. They rely a lot on the Kotl to give them information. This is a massive opening for Reality Rift.
Ryoya.
Yeah?
Ryoya.
What? What?
Flies back. Hustler will also end up dying back. KYXY gonna make the chase now. Oh, Zephyr gets taken out. No buyback on him. Ryoya, don't risk your life like this, sir. Raven, he's been left alone. Nowhere to go. Burrow Strike Ice Blast is there and he's gone. And now that is definitely a Roshan for RR.
What happened there? Like, Ryoya zips all the way into the back and finds nothing.
It's a good question, John.
These are just some curious movements coming out from Geek Fam at best. It's just... is this...
I think Cuckoo just says it all.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. I'm really not sure. I mean, on the face of it, it just doesn't make too much logical sense unless I'm missing something.
Well, now tier
Nonetheless.
3. Alacrity, he hits very hard, he takes down towers very quick, and wow, a heart will come out on the Spectre though. Nice 4-star from Cuckoo into the Hoof Stomp. Won't be enough. Blinding Light will be there to slow this down. Cuckoo again with the Hoof Stomp setting up. Can they take down the Aegis at the very least? No, they cannot. But they definitely force back Alacrity. So some clever plays coming out from the Centaur Warrunner, using his own 4-star to push the TA into the Hoof Stomp. Luck now, though, does have a heart and cheese. And I was commenting before on this Luck Spectre never picking up a heart of Tarask. He does it for the first time in the past couple days. And I'd like to see if it makes any difference here for him.
I reckon it will. He doesn't need to right-click too hard. You have a lot already on Alacrity, so you can afford to just be a dispersion machine. He should be working himself to his 25 talent. That's going to be the big one. When he grabs that dispersion talent, plus 6% is going to be massive. Is working towards that butterfly next. He's going to boost up his damage anyway, but it's going to be a bit of a while. Still right around 3,000, no, 4,000 gold left, roundabouts. Just a lot of farm to go through. Nonetheless, as this game prolongs, Reality Rift is going to be happier and happier. You are seeing a lack of effectiveness coming out from Raven now. He is trying his best, but Bristleback has strict timings, and we're reaching the point where that timing might cost him, as he is playing late game against the spec with a Bristleback.
Wow, they're going to return back into that mid lane for a bit. If they are TPing all their heroes in, KYXY will join the crew. Alacrity, I believe he almost has the Daedalus up. He will still go in after the tier 3 because the Aegis is going to eventually expire. They'll get the tier 3 tower. And it looks like they're ready to go for shrines.
Yeah, it's a safer play so far. No pressure for them to take it to the high ground just yet. Just play it safe, get your items up, slowly chip away at this map. They understand that Geek fam are the ones that feel the need to get something done, right? They feel like their timings have been hit, that they've not much room to grow left, especially in Raven, although
Raven gets jumped on. Burn Strike, KYXY, Ice Blast, he melts. They just shattered him with that Ice Blast. Now the Horn. Who would they jump on? Cuckoo already TPing. Dubu not going to be so lucky. He goes down. And at the very least, Ryoya is split pushing that top lane. And that may force them back a bit. But they could just go into the mid lane now. It's going to be a very, very hard defense as the Aegis is still available. You don't have a buyback on your Coddle. And this is a very, very, very heavy hitting TA hitting these mid racks. Hustler will pop the Edict as well, and that's just going to escalate things so much more. Raven, he'll buy back on the Bristle. Cuckoo, Hoof Stomp is there. Zip in as well. Refraction is going to be available. That'll be it. Ara, they got what they came for. They're still in the driver's seat. 13k net worth lead for them. Looks like they are waiting to punish someone and perhaps find even more. And I like this play for them. Less conservative and just more aggressive. Looks like Geek Fam won't fall for it though. And RR will eventually just back out. That's the Aegis expiring right there.
I don't think it's that big of a deal for Reality Rift again. They are just taking their time, no rush, finding farm, slowly chipping away at the map. Geek Fam, though, they are constantly looking for a chance here. They want to find something. They want to make up for lost time, for lost farm. They've got a lot to work through now as they have a 13k deficit, 24 to 24 to go at 42 minutes in.
Cuckoo, move stomp, will find the Spectre, but KYXY straight away, and now Ice Blast does connect. That'll mean Cuckoo's in a bit of trouble if they catch him again. Zephyr, though, really setting up for his team. Will-O-Wisp is amazing. It's just not going to be enough. As the BKBs are popped, Alacrity wants to keep moving forward. They found Ryoyo on the Storm. Can they burst him before he gets away? Not quite. RR so close.
Bottom tower is under attack.
But they'll wait another day. That bot lane, though, is pushing in. 2 siege creeps there as well. That tier 3 tower is going to go down pretty soon. Storm will jump in and clear it out with Cuckoo. KYXY links in. Sandstorm's up, just giving vision for the team. Cuckoo is TPing back to that bot tower. And now Ryoyo just jumps in straight onto the TA, but the TA not going to mind too much. In fact, he cops no damage. KYXY, though, is in trouble. Ice Blast coming in. Alacrity, the Burrow Strike as well. Alacrity just melts Ryoyo. He doesn't have buyback available. Zephyr now getting charged up by Luck. They'll leave him be. Back down to the racks. It's all about objectives.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Even Sal's being popped on Alacrity. Nice Burrow Strike to start off for KYXY. Dubu's gone. He'll buy back. Raven half HP and he's just forced back to the fountain. Zephyr trying to delay as much as he can. Luck, he still has the cheese. He'll be able to pop it and just walk away. He matches up and just turns around on Cuckoo. Cuckoo losing half his HP. And now KYXY turning it back around. They'll lose Cuckoo now. No buyback on him. Raven, got to be so careful. He's been stunned up as well. But the blinding light will save the day. And now Luck, straight back up to the top tier 3 tower. Get those megas up. Trying to force that GG call. Hustler pops the Edict. Raven's still trying. He pops his BKB. But RR will just wait it out. Back, never mind. Alacrity just jumps straight in. And my god, he almost just gets melted. At KYXY with the Burrow Strike straight on Zephyr. Will-O-Wisp comes out as well. It will not help the cause from Dubu as they will just take it out. Zephyr will buy back now. KYXY again with the Burrow. And man, the damage from Alacrity. This game's over. And they will call it. Yeah.
There's just no way. They didn't have Raven. There's no defense coming out. Rather unfortunate, but really good showing coming out from Reality Rift. Their second win, thanks to that drawn series. So this sets them up quite nicely in this series. If they win the next one, going 2-0, that does, I believe, secure them 4th spot, which lets them go into the minors as well. The minor qualifiers, at the very least.
Well, that's a pretty big deal. Of course, they would love that. A great showing if they can replicate this performance. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't just 2-0 Geek Fam. Geek Fam may have to look at the draft a bit and just sort that out, but Reality Rift, I mean, they've finally got into their momentum, their groove, and we'll see if they can keep it up in game number 2. For now, it is MLP Dota and Jonix Fire. We're going to go off to a short break, and we'll be right back with that secondary game in just a moment.